Crosshands Rider. See the world cycle.
Crosshands Rider, let's get hyper. Crosshands Rider, it's better than the arrival. See the world cycle.
Well, and welcome to the Crosshands Rider. This video is going to be an update on the Hollyland Lark M2 and the Hollyland Lark M2 working with the Action 3 camera, because in my original review there were a few problems. Actually, I say a few problems, there was one really, and that was related to the microphone. The microphone jumping between the Action 3 mic and the Hollyland Lark M2 mic, and I wasn't sure what was causing it. Was it power? Was it an issue with the USB-C connection? I wasn't sure whether the problem was related to the power of the battery, because it always seemed to do it as the battery ran down. After a certain amount of time the problem arose. So is it battery power? Is it an issue with the actual USB-C connector? So I've started this ride with the Action 3 camera, 59% battery. I wanted to see if a lower battery causes the mic switching between the Action 3 and the Lark M2. So I thought, well, let's try and see, with the battery lower, with the battery at 59% at start, does the problem start more quickly, or does the battery make no difference if it's at 100% at start or 59% at start? So, after my test, I've reviewed the footage. Now, I've also looked back at the footage for ferry side as well. What I didn't realise is that the problem actually occurred a lot quicker than I thought it did. I thought it was about 30 minutes or so, but it wasn't. It was 12, and there wasn't much difference between this one, this video, and the ferry side one, which therefore basically rules out a power problem as far as I'm concerned. So the next test, for this I'm going to use a very long cable, and I'm going to plug it into the receiver like this, and then I'm going to put this long cable into one of my bike bags, and this hopefully will see whether that's the actual, because the camera is attached to the bike currently and this is plugged in the camera, maybe it's just the surface of the road and the point that I have road tyres and the camera's attached to the bike as well. Maybe it's the jolting around is causing the problem. So I've got the cable in the side of the camera like this. And I'm going to run it, and what I'm going to do is I will put it inside here, run the cable inside this bag like this, and then put the rest of the cable, I'll clip the cable up or I'll push it in so that it's not dangling. And we'll see how well the mics behave then. So I can't unhook the camera at the moment. It's staying on the bike because it's all cabled up. When the receiver is plugged into the camera, I can just pick it up, but now it's all wired in. I've got to just leave it, which is a disadvantage with this method. Obviously when we get back, I will see at what point, if the mic switches back to the camera mic, and if it does, then we know this hasn't solved the problem. I'm hoping it's not going to rain, because if it does, I'll have to cut this experiment short and hope I've got enough material So I reviewed that footage and I had a bit of a surprise. The surprise was it didn't play up at all. The mics completely behaved, no problem whatsoever for the whole ride. The ride's about an hour or just under, and it didn't play up once. I didn't have any issues with voice syncing with the video, with the sound sync. Everything was perfect. So my final test is just going to use this extension here and plug this in here like so, and plug that into the camera directly, and we'll see now if this plays up or whether it is just a connector on here. So my final test is to use a little adapter on the side here and plug the Hollyland Lark M2 into the Action 3 this way, and to see if this works. So yeah, let's see if this works, because this would be more convenient than having the long lead, which was successful, but it's particularly awkward and fiddly and quite inconvenient. After reviewing the footage for this video now, the problem does persist, but not as quickly. It took about 30 to 35 minutes this time, but it still played up with the microphones and the video went out of sync. So I can conclude it's definitely got to do with the way that the camera gets bounced about on the bike. I presume it sort of softens the blow having the adapter in there, but even with the adapter it still plays up. So the only surefire way really is to have a long cable plugged in and have that plugged in to a bag or something. I also reckon if you use a neck mount or a sort of waist body mount, that would also work quite well. But if you've got it on your bike, like I've tested it and tried it, the actual vibrations going through the bike will basically shake the device, the receiver. And it's also because the receiver is slightly weighted, and I think it sort of comes loose. So the conclusion: neither device is faulty. The Hollyland Lark M2 is fine, and the Action 3 is fine. You know, this is a great piece of kit, I found, and I do use it all the time now. Again, the Action 3, great piece of kit as well, and I think, as I've said, it's all about how I'm mounting the camera. By mounting it to my bike, the vibrations are causing a disconnection between the Hollyland Lark M2 and the Action 3. So it's more about how you mount the camera, and that's why I've been getting a problem. So how do I use this combination? Well, I actually end up using my mobile phone. I put the Hollyland Lark M2 into my mobile phone and I connect it into the USB-C port. What this does is it allows me to record the mic footage onto my phone. And now this means that I then record the audio obviously onto the phone, and then I use my editing software afterwards to replace the camera sound with the Hollyland Lark M2 sound. this does give me the benefit that I do actually have 2 audio streams. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want most of the camera footage, particularly when I'm cycling along, because I get all the road noise. But say I'm recording to camera, face to camera, and I don't know, the Lark M2 mics play up for some reason, I still have audio footage on my camera, which I could use if I wanted to. And finally, what does it sound like when you use the 2 mics together? Because it's quite difficult to know unless you've got somebody else you're recording with. Well, I did just that when I filmed my Merthyr video back in October, and you can watch the video, it's on YouTube. But here's a snippet now before I end. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See the world cycle. It's hard work.
Again?
It's hard work.
It is hard work. Screw it out. Now my bike's squeaking for some reason.
It's your legs, I think.
I haven't been out on the bike in ages.
It's good to get out.
It is. Every time I do it, I think I should do this more often.
Yeah.
And then it's just life gets in the way, doesn't it?
It does. Life gets in the way.